Hello, welcome to part 4 of my series detailing my attempts to submit icons to the Noun Project and going into detail about my successes and my failures, and yeah, I hope this is going to be helpful for you. Okay, so as I say, it's part 4 now. I've had 3 full months of successfully having icon designs listed and approved on the nounproject.com and having payouts, royalty payouts in those 3 full months. So this is a really quick recap from the previous parts of this series. So in August 2022, I made $48.96 in royalties, and that was from a total of 1,700 downloads of my icons, which is amazing. I never really expected to get more than sort of $5-10, maybe $15 at an absolute push. So that was a really great start for me. Really shocked me, kind of took me by surprise that it did that much. You know, obviously, as I've said before in the previous videos, I realise that this isn't, you know, retire early and buy a yacht kind of money, but it's a bit of cash, you know, for some beer money, or I've been using it a little bit to buy some more equipment for my office, that sort of thing. And actually, it's been really great to have that little bit of extra money coming in for something that I love doing. I love building, designing icons, and you know, people clearly like downloading them, so that's great. So that was the first full month. Was whatever I just said, $48.96. Then the second full month I made $39.35, so down a bit. I was kind of expecting it to come down quite a lot, so the fact that it only dropped by sort of about a fifth of the previous month, I was pretty happy with that. That was for 1,536 downloads in total, about $40. So again, you know, it's not going to break the bank, but or whatever the opposite of break the bank is. It's not going to build the bank, but it's, you know, it's a little bit of cash that comes in, and as I say, I get it for doing something that I love doing anyway, so that's fine. So that was August, and then September, which I've covered in my previous videos. If you haven't seen those, go back and I'll go into more detail. This video is to look at my royalties and earnings from October 2022. And again, I was sort of thinking, you know, there's a bit of a downward trend. It's probably going to continue to drop off a bit. In October, I made $79.09, which was mad, really crazy. Only slightly less than the previous 2 months put together. So that was, yeah, really properly blew me away when I got that email through saying that was my total earnings for that month. So that came from 3,156 total downloads. So let's just have a quick look at my at the details in my account. So here we can see my dashboard in the Noun Project, and you can see I earned, as I say, $79.09 in October. Brilliant. 1,990 of those were from free downloads, so I didn't earn any royalties from those, and that's kind of continued the sort of ratio that I've seen in previous months. The vast majority, usually around 2/3, which that is pretty close to being about 2/3. Around 2/3 I found have been free downloads, so absolutely no royalties for me from those, but that's fine. Technically, the files that people download for free include an embedded credit to me, but I don't really think that anything comes of that at all. It says my name, and it links you through to a generic search results page, which again I think I've covered in the previous video. So that's just sort of pretty meaningless. So yeah, where it really gets interesting, one single download at $1.80. This is the royalties that I get. The actual cost of this for a user is $2.99. So that's great. That's pretty cool. You know, someone was willing to pay $3 just to download one of my icons, which, you know, is a great feeling. It's just nice to know people. I like making the icons. You know, I have done it for a while as a hobby, and I like spending my time doing that. I find it really interesting. So the fact that actually people not only like my icons and are willing to download them and use them, presumably, someone was willing to pay $3 to get one of my icons, which is, yeah, that's really good feeling. Then the bulk of the money here has come from these pro downloads. So this is someone who has a subscription to the Noun Project, and then I get a sort of a share of the total revenue that comes in over the course of the month based on how many of those downloaded icons were mine. So here we can see 547 downloads at 13 cents each, so that was $71.11. Finally, API uses. So this is so one example I have of this is the website Mural, which is an online whiteboard app. I know that they have this API usage, and so in Mural, if you go to add an icon to your Mural board, it's pulled through from the Noun Project, and I've actually managed to find some of my icons on there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so we can see 618 downloads, but it's much less royalty. So this is 1 cent per download. So obviously $6.18, but yeah, as I say, $79.09, which is just so much more than I ever expected to get in a single month. As I say, I was thinking probably more like $10-15 most, but yeah, so that was really impressive, really pleased with that. Not at all what I was expecting. I've actually been able to use some of that money to buy my wife a Christmas present, so result. But yeah, really happy with that, and way more than I ever expected. So that's sort of how I did in October. As I say, far outweighed my expectations, so really pleased with that. I guess what would be good to talk about, I'm trying to keep this relatively short, but what would be good to talk about is a few things that I think I've mentioned before, actually, some of these, but with each new month that I kind of have these submissions and approvals and I still have some denies. You can see, actually, if I just jump back quickly, so you can see I've actually had 47 of my submissions declined, which again, I think I've covered that in a previous video as to my suspicions of why. I don't think you're given very good information. In fact, I can probably show you what you are given, what you're told. So here's some denied ones. It kind of, you get this sort of blurb about they're not accepted, the proportions are odd. It could also, so it says this as if this is exactly why it's been declined. The proportions are odd, making the icon appear stretched or squished, which I don't think is the case. So you think, that's why it's been disapproved. Seems a bit weird. Then it says it could also be that this icon is rotated in a way that changes the meaning. Again, it's not. So it's worded a bit strangely. It's worded in a way that this is why it's been declined, but then you realise, oh, that's not why. So there's no real explanation given, which is a bit of a shame, but I do understand, they have, whatever it is, more than 3 million icons on this site, and they must get so many submitted each month. I understand that they can't give a bespoke reason for each denial, a declination, is that a word? So I totally get that, that's fair enough, but the first time it happened, with my first attempted upload, it was a bit disheartening and a bit difficult, a bit frustrating to think. I don't think my submissions, I don't think this explanation relates to any of my submissions, so it's a bit frustrating. But yeah, as I say, I haven't had many denied since that first batch. Most of this 47 is that first batch. The others that have been denied is things like these arrows, because you do get denied if you're just submitting the same icon in different directions, which is what these arrows are, so that's fair enough. And these search icons, they are all different, but they've sort of essentially said they're not different enough to warrant approving them all, which again, that's fine. I've got other plans for these icons anyway outside of this Noun project, so that's fine. Not a problem with that. Yeah, as I say, I've had nearly 50 decline now, but I think I'm up to something like nearly 300 that I've had approved and are bringing in downloads for me. Few points that I did want to talk about. So, firstly, and again, I think I did mention this previously, almost every month that I've submitted icons, I have submitted in batches across the course of a month. You get a limit of how many you can upload in a 30-day or 31-day period, which I think starts off at 50. Now, I think because of how many I've had successfully approved, I can now submit up to 100 in a 30-day period, which is great. And so what I tend to do is upload 20, 30, 40, 50 one day, and then a week or a couple of weeks later, once I've designed a bunch more, I'll upload another batch and maybe another batch after that, all within that 30-day period. And I sort of started to notice a couple of months ago, I guess now, that it seemed like when I did that, when I uploaded in batches across a month, it seemed like they all got approved at the same time. And so I wondered, does that mean that when I upload that first batch I've uploaded and then I upload more before they've been approved, that first batch, is that delaying them being approved? So I reached out to the Noun Project on Twitter, and they came back to me pretty quickly and said, that's not how it works. When you make submissions, they go into a queue, our moderators go through that queue, in chronological order, and they approve or deny each batch. However, that's what they told me. However, for 2 or 3 months now, I can sort of see pretty clearly that that's not how it's actually working for me. When I submit icons in separate batches across the course of a month, every time they get approved or denied at the same time, same day. So I'm not sure if they misinform me unintentionally or intentionally, or I don't know if it's just something weird with my account, I don't know. But that is very much what they said, is very much not how I've experienced it. In fact, the last batch that I had approved, I had 50 of the 100, roughly 50, that were pending approval for 29 days, I think. And then after about 3 weeks, submitted another 50, and then they were pending for 9 days when all 100 got approved at the same time. So again, it just tells me that it's not a case of if you upload in batches, they get approved in batches. It seems very much to be that, at the end of the 30-day period or whatever it is, you get approved. It's sort of, I'm averaging between 3 and 4 weeks, seems to be my average time between submission of the first batch and then approval of the however many I've got pending at once. So you can see here I've got 75 awaiting moderation now. As again, I'm fully expecting that all 75 will be moderated at once in a few weeks' time. But this is fine, it's not a problem. I know that that's how it works now, so I know that if I submit some and then take a couple of weeks to design some more and then submit those, I'm fully expecting that they'll all get approved at once. That's fine. I try and regularly upload every couple of weeks throughout the month, as and when I have a decent batch of new icons to submit. So I've kind of just taken that into account when I'm doing that. But that's fine. It's not a huge problem. Sorry, I'm just going to take a look at my notes. You don't need to see that. So the other things I want to mention, there's definitely a surge in activity for downloads immediately after you get a new batch of icons approved. Again, I have a feeling I might have mentioned this before, that I suspected this to be the case. With another month under my belt, as it were, I've had exactly the same experience, that when my pending submissions get moderated and the vast majority of them get approved, there's a huge peak in activity of downloads, where I'm seeing 20 or 30 downloads an hour, that sort of thing, for the first few days, and then it basically just sort of gradually drops off over a couple of weeks, and then by week 3, week 4, which is usually around where my next batch will hopefully get approved, it's really dwindled. So actually, if I jump back, and I'll just take you to my activity page, so you can see here within my account. This is the activity of my downloads. So you can see that I had one 40 minutes ago, an hour and 40, 2 hours 6, 3 hours, 6 hours. So there's less than 1 an hour at the moment, but it has been 3 weeks near enough since these got approved. So again, I'm at that point now in that submission approval cycle where the activity is really dwindling and dropping off. That's fine. In another week or two, I should hopefully have some more icons approved, and that will surge back up again before dropping back down again after another 3 or 4 weeks. So that's fine. Again, now that I'm three whole months, sort of 3 months and a couple of days into this project, this endeavour, I'm kind of factoring these realizations into my process of how I submit and when I submit. I know that I'm going to submit and get most of them, if not all of them, approved usually, and there'll be a big big increase, big surge in downloads, and then that would just dwindle and dwindle and dwindle, and hopefully by the time it's really dwindled, I'll get some more approved. But the thing that has really shown me is if I were to stop uploading, as I said, I've got about 300 I think approved now. Roughly around 100 a month I've been managing to get approved. If I was to stop uploading for a month or 2 months, or even just fully stop uploading, I fully expect that my royalties would just completely bottom out, and I think I'd maybe get a couple of downloads a month or whatever it was. But it seems to be that there's some sort of algorithm in the background that says, here's some newly uploaded, newly approved icons. Let's really push them. I don't know if they kind of pushed up the search results internally or whatever. I don't know how it works exactly, but there's definitely something going on that says, here's some recent uploaded, some brand new icons. Let's really push them to people's attention. Which again is fine. I understand that they want to encourage people to keep submitting, and they want to show people the newest things. And I understand all of that. I think that's fair enough. But now that I know that and I understand that, again, it just means I can factor that in with my plans and what I'm doing. So it's not a negative, but it's just something I've definitely noticed. But yeah, that's kind of, those are the points I wanted to cover. As I say, really. Really shocked by how much money I made last month. Not expecting to make that much again this month. I know that I can sort of see from the activity. You can see if you go onto your where is it? Go to my dashboard and then go to view all uploads. You can see an individual count per icon. So 29, 2, 3, 19. So you can see how many downloads you're getting. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot less this month than it was last month, but that's fine. As long as it's a little bit, that'd be nice. As long as it's more than $10 to get that payout, that'd be great. But yeah, so overall, I guess 3 months into this, I'm thinking it's definitely been worthwhile. So I've made, what have I made? Don't want to show my embarrassing spreadsheet, but in total I've made $167.40 from this. I've had 4,260 downloads. Sorry, that's free downloads. I've had exactly 6,400 downloads in total across free downloads, single purchases, pro downloads, and API uses. So that was up to the end of October. 6,400 downloads exactly, and $167.40. So again, it's not life-changing money by any means. It's not sort of, quit your day job and live off icon royalties money. But it's great. It's more than I was expecting, so that's great. So current plans are to carry on. I think for as long as I can think up icon ideas. I've started doing some sort of more themed icons. So I have submitted some Christmassy icons, which hopefully might get approved soon, so that people can get them in time to use them ahead of Christmas. And I've submitted some food-based icons and some plant-based icons, that kind of thing. So sort of a bit of a variety. And I suspect that that's probably going to be the way that, for however long I manage to continue submitting regularly, I think the way that I'll keep doing that and keep that fresh, keep coming up with ideas, will be to sort of branch out into different themes of icon packs. That's the idea. Individual icons, but icons in a theme, like Christmas, for example. That's my plan anyway. Plan to keep going. As I say, I love making icons. I do it a lot for work, and I have in the past with previous jobs. So actually, I'm sort of doing it relatively often anyway. But I love doing it, in my spare time. It's just sort of, it's quite straightforward. It's not too mentally taxing. It's quite a nice way to unwind, I actually find. So yeah, plan to keep going, keep uploading icons. I did also mention actually that I've got another idea for some icons that got denied. In fact, not just those ones, but all of my icons. What I've actually started doing is what I kind of wanted to do originally, but knew that I had to build up a little bit of content first. But I've actually put together all the icons that I have up to this point. I have put into a single pack, and I've now put that up on Gumroad. So again, as I say, one of the things that really drew me to the Noun Project in the first place was the fact that you could upload individual icons one at a time, or just a group of single icons, together. But you didn't have to have 300 icons in a pack, all nicely kind of themed and consistent and all that kind of thing. I knew that it would take me a while to get to that point, which I basically have now got to. As I say, I've got over 300 icons on the Noun Project, so I have now put them all together into an icon pack. So just a sort of bit of an experiment, just to see if anything comes of it. So I've got the web app icon pack, over 300 minimal and modern icons for web apps and more, and I've got just some sort of marketing images here to kind of pull out some examples. Doesn't load particularly nicely, but pull out some examples of the icons. Quick little description explaining what they are, individually packaged SVG files, just taken straight from what I've uploaded to the Noun Project. I'm not particularly pushing this. I'm not very good at sort of self-promotion and marketing, beyond, I guess, doing some YouTube videos. So I'm sort of posting about it on my social accounts under my Loop.media username, but other than that, I'm really not sort of hounding my family and friends to download it, because I know that it's of no interest to any of them. But yeah, just I guess if you're interested in these videos and you're bothering to watch it this far, which thank you very much if you are, might be of interest to you to see that kind of I've now built up enough content through submitting to the Noun Project to now have this icon pack for sale as a bulk product. Just trying it out, I put it at $15 for now. It's 346 icons, I think, which feels like decent value to me. It might be that over time I sort of experiment with the price a bit more, experiment with trying to promote it a bit more, push it a bit more. I don't know, we'll sort of see what happens. But yeah, so that's kind of where I've got to now with this journey into creating icons for digital downloads and digital resources. And I guess I'll keep doing these videos for a little bit longer at least, see how the next couple of months go on the Noun Project. I might start doing separate videos around, I've got ideas to try and promote this pack elsewhere. So yeah, I'll have a think about trying to maybe do some other videos around that. But I'm going to call it there, because it's already been longer than I had hoped it would be. So again, if you've bothered to watch it this far, I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. Please do like and subscribe and comment and share this with any like-minded folk who might be interested in this sort of thing. And yeah, thanks very much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.